basically, this is the week of Nintendo, and the reason for that was they had their big Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday.
Yes.
Yesterday morning. Since they're in Japan, they post them at different times. So that 7 a.m. time was a little brutal. I didn't watch it until about noon. Lots of stuff in here. I don't think we're going to go through like every single detail, but I just wanted to go over like the highlights. And what they did show, talk just briefly about what they didn't show in the presentation, and then what details have come out afterwards, which I thought was very interesting. Some of the things they purposely did not talk about in the but they start here with Mario Kart World, which looks amazing.
It really does.
It looks so good. I think 24 player races, which is awesome. And I think kind of the shtick is there are different regions of this world that are all connected. And so there are like standard Mario Kart races in those regions. Then you can also do very unique races with like, okay, we're going to do this race and this race, but then the path on the way between those two regions is also a race to get to the second race. So like you can make unique like different routes, and there's a free roam mode in the entire world. You can just drive anywhere, and I guess you can grind rails, which is kind of great.
And drive on walls.
And wall jump. You can be a cow on a motorcycle.
On a radio.
So I don't know. It looks bonkers. Looks fun. I think it was smart of them to open with this because it does look really, really great. And there hasn't been a new Mario Kart game since 2014.
Wow.
So 11 years. So yeah. Hopefully it's got the goods, because I think Mario Kart 8 now has like 96 levels because they've released so much expansion content for it. I think I also heard that this version is taking away like the different car components where you choose like wheels and the parachute and then the body of the car. And a lot of people got really into that. Like, what's the best like build and the motorcycles and stuff.
Right. And the character weight and acceleration, exactly. All that stuff.
So it'll be interesting. There's some funny characters, and it looks like there's a lot of them. I hope there are as many levels and as much like cool stuff you can do with the cars, and obviously that the racing is really good. So excuse me, that's what they started with here. And why do I have like French subtitles on? Who knows? Looks really, really cool. Next up, they went over that C button that we talked about last week. And I'm trying to remember what the term they used for that was. GameChat, I think, is the new feature. Very Nintendo of them to come up with a entire new term for something that's existed for a long time. Yeah, or Discord. I do like that they try to make like things like that very family friendly, whereas like connecting in Discord can be a little tricky if like you're playing on a console and then you want to use that on your PC or your phone, whereas this is just push a button and you can connect with your friends, chat immediately. There's a mic included on top of the Switch 2, so you don't even have to have a headset. It's supposed to have good noise canceling as well. You can also like screen share all of their screens. You can play different games at the same time. You can do their next feature called GameShare, again, something that like PlayStation's had for a long time, where if one person has a game and that game has like a split screen mode, you can like invite others to play with you. Some of the games will like interject your face right on the screen with this camera that can connect to the top now. So I don't know, there's quite a bit there. Game chat, I think, was the main thing, though. Being able to chat with your friends and not have to use the silly voice chat app that for the original Switch, you had to use the app on your smartphone. So nice that it's built in. Then they went into Switch 2 details. And I mean, not a ton of them, but some of like the high level points. The screen's bigger. It's 7.9 inches instead of 6 point whatever it is. Same thickness. I think it was 6.5, if I'm remembering correctly. Oh, 6.2. That's quite a bit bigger. An inch and a half-ish bigger, the same depth. It's a 1080p, thank goodness.
Yes, sir.
Would have even maybe liked a little bit more than that, but I'm glad it's not 720. And I think one of the biggest wins of the device is it has 120 frames on the
Agreed.
On the screen, which is super cool. So I'm really glad they went for that. It is LCD, it's not OLED, but there were some hands-on impressions that people got to do today at a special event in like New York or something. And they said even though it's LCD, it looks really, really good, especially because it has HDR and like it's pretty vivid was the word that was just here on the screen. The Joy-Cons attached with magnets. The sticks are bigger. Bummer, the sticks are not Hall effect sensors. Somebody asked them specifically about stick drift since that was such a problem with the first Joy-Cons, and they like halfway refused to answer and just said the sticks are bigger and smoother and more durable. But
and we like selling you a new set of Joy-Cons for $80.
They're actually $90. We'll get back to that in a minute. USB-C ports. There's now 2 of them, one on the bottom and on the top. You can charge the device on either one. And we just saw that camera attachment that, that's probably why they added the one on top to have cool attachments. They confirmed the mouse mode, which I really wonder how accurate it is. If it's accurate, it's really cool.
Yeah.
They show you like playing some games with it in a minute that we'll talk about. The stand is larger, has 256 gigabytes of built-in storage instead of 64 like the original Switch. The dock has a fan in it to try to keep the device cool, and docked it can go all the way up to 4K 60. It uses, what do they call that, DLSS?
Anti-aliasing.
Yeah, exactly. I think. Yep. But it is cool that it can get that high. And they do mention you can do 120 frames at lower resolutions as well, as long as your TV can support it. They mentioned like better audio and directional audio and stuff too. I think the main things for me are like the nicer screen though. They didn't really go over like the processor and the power, but that's not really Nintendo's thing. They don't talk about power very much, so I didn't expect them to like go into all that. And then I think they ended this segment by saying that it was coming out on June 5th. Do they say that right here?
It is June 5th, yes.
Oh, I guess they didn't say it right there, but yeah, it's June 5th. Kind of missing from that segment were prices. I thought they would go over that at the end of the video, but they didn't do that either. So we'll talk more about pricing in a little bit. But at this point, they hopped over to some, not games yet. Well, I guess there is some. First one is this bit of software called the Welcome Tour. Basically lets you walk around a virtual Switch 2 and click on little prompts all around it that'll tell you stuff about like, here's where the magnets are, here's how the stick works, and all kinds of just things like that. Surprisingly, not free.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a paid piece of software, which is really weird because like Astro's Playroom that came with the PlayStation 5, free, and was like a full-blown like 6-hour game, which was pretty awesome. So I was a little surprised by that one, but when we come back to pricing and how expensive all of this is, actually not very surprising. But I talked about that for a minute. Talked about the game cards. They're now a different color. They're red. I think it shows it right here. Yeah, red game cards. Same shape. They do send data faster, and they go over that in the Switch 2 you can't use a normal microSD card. It has to be an express microSD card because it needs the faster speed in order to keep up with the better games. What else did they go over? Then they went over the new Pro controller. And I really do like the Pro controller on the Switch. I think it's excellent. Trying to get right to it. And this one looks really cool. Like, I really like how it looks, like the top being a different color. Like a light gray in contrast with the dark gray. It has a audio jack for headphones on the bottom, which is nice now. And back paddles.
The back paddles is amazing.
Yeah, way nice. Only 2 of them, but I think 2 is plenty for most people. So I don't know. I think the Pro Controller looks cool. Again, didn't give the price of the Pro Controller, but we'll get back to that in a minute. All right. Then they talked about basically games that run on both systems, Switch and Switch 2. What they're calling them, the Switch 2 version of those games, the Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. Some of the games that they highlighted here are Mario Party Jamboree. It has like a different mode called Jamboree TV, and it runs at a higher resolution. This one uses that camera to like pull your friends into Mario Party, and has some new mini games with the Switch 2 like controller like usage built in. So that was kind of the shtick there. You can aim on some of the levels with the mouse controls. They have Switch 2 editions of both of the Switch Zelda games that have like a smartphone app where you can track, like use your map and it'll direct you to stuff. And you can share things you've discovered with other people on the app. Kirby and the Forgotten Land has one that has like a new, like, I don't know if world is the right word, but yeah, Star-Crossed World is what they call it actually. So new bits of DLC in that. And then Pokemon ZA also had a little shout out here. Then they talked about Metroid Prime 4 that also has a Switch and a Switch 2 edition. And in the Switch 2 edition, you can play at 4K 60 or 1080 120. And you can also aim with the mouse controls, which is pretty cool. Again, as long as they're very accurate. I wonder how accurate they'll be, especially I imagine my kids like trying to use it on the couch or the carpet.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be brutal.
And I can't imagine that would be very good.
That's a good point. You typically don't play a Switch at a sitting gaming desk
with a mouse pad. Yeah,
with a mouse pad.
Yeah. So I wonder what kind of sensor they have in there. If it's because I know there are different kinds of mice input devices, but so they went over all of that. Looks cool. Another thing they mentioned is that for any of those games that you have the Switch version of, you can buy an upgrade pack to get basically upgrade to the Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Detail they did not go over is how much that upgrade pack costs. Get to that again later. All right, so they've gone over the Switch, these upgrade packs, some of the details of the system. Now they start talking about some games. First one is called Dragon Drive. And very interesting. I think it actually looks fun. Like take Rocket League, but then put like all of the characters in a wheelchair and make them play basketball. But they can also jump up these ramps. And you move the wheelchairs with the mouse controls on both.
Crazy.
Joy-Con.
People will get so good at that.
Oh, they will for sure. And you shoot with the Joy-Con. You like wave for passes with the Joy-Con. So I don't know, I hope it works well. It kind of reminds me of ARMS, that game that came out for the original Switch that was boxing with both the Joy-Con, but this one, trying to be a little more accurate, I would imagine, with the mouse input. I think it looks cool. Whether it will be fun to play is another question. All right, so I showed that one. Then they went into partner games. We're going to go through these ones really quick. In fact, I'm just going to kind of scrub through, and I'm going to let Devin just read the names of the games that they mentioned there, if that works, Dev.
First one, we do like this.
Oh, yeah.
Elden Ring, Tarnished Edition.
Heck yeah.
We like the next one, too.
Yeah.
Hades 2, which I don't know is it actually released now?
No, it's still in early access. I think they're just saying that once it is at its 1.0 version, it will come to Switch 2.
Perfect. Next is Street Fighter 6.
Yep.
Don't know how to pronounce this one. Daemon X Machina.
I think this is, Daemon X Machina, and this is either a sequel to the first one or just like an expansion of the first one called, what was the subtitle?
Titanic Scion.
Titanic Scion. Nice.
And the game I've been playing, Split Fiction.
Yep.
That'll be fun.
Yep, that one will be fun. A lot of these are coming on launch day, and you can tell just from how many partners were listed at this event, a lot of people want to have their games on the Switch too. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, Split Fiction was next.
This is pretty exciting news.
It is.
You don't get new consoles that often.
No, you don't. So it was fun.
EA Sports FC. Madden.
Yep. EA Sports FC is football club. It's basically FIFA. But they can't use the name FIFA anymore because they had like a falling out with FIFA. So the soccer and football game from EA are both coming.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Seamless world transitions.
I think Hogwarts Legacy is on the Switch. It just has like loading screens between like the doors from inside the castle to outside, or it was on PlayStation 4 where it had those. I can't remember, but this one doesn't, like the PlayStation 5 version that you just walk out.
I wonder if you'll get no loading screens in Tears of the Kingdom.
They showed it at some at that event today. Oh no, sorry, that was Breath of the Wild. And the loading screens they put side by side were definitely better, but they still were there, like loading in and out of a shrine, for example. But on Tears of the Kingdom, it would be awesome if you could just walk in there, because they just have kind of that warpy gate that you can see through.
As you can see here, Tony Hawk.
Yep.
Great game.
Yeah, so fun.
Hitman, World of Assassination.
Yeah, which I think encompasses all of the missions from Hitman 1, 2, and 3, which were like the more modern ones.
This one's exciting, 007.
Yep, same company, IO Interactive. They've been working on this 007 game for a long time. It hasn't been out yet, but basically they're just confirming it will also come to the Switch too.
Bravely Default, Flying Fairy HD Remaster.
Yep, this game came out quite a few years ago, but this is just an HD remaster of it. A lot of people really loved it. I think it came out for the 3DS.
It is cute. It's like mixing intense characters with like this cute art. It looks turn-based. I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Yakuza 0 Director's Cut.
Yep. I haven't played a Yakuza game, but there are so many of them. So hopefully that's a good starting
point there. People freaked out about this one. Hyrule Warriors. Age of Imprisonment.
They did. When the trailer started and it was Zelda talking about like the imprisoning war, I was like, oh man, please don't be Hyrule Warriors.
Did you try the first Hyrule Warriors?
No, I didn't. It's based on Dynasty Warriors, that game where like you're fighting on a big battlefield and you do like one swing and 75 enemies like flying. So it's just like big
Sauron simulator
slashy fights. Yeah, kind of. I think I would like these ones better because I like the Zelda universe.
So curious about that.
Yeah.
Next, GameCube coming to NSO.
Oh yes, that's right. So then they took a break from partner games for a minute and talked about where is it here? Yeah, GameCube games are coming to Nintendo Switch Online with the expansion pack, but only to Switch 2, which seems silly. I think they could have got these running on the original Switch, but they
love money.
They want some of these things that'll force you to upgrade, for sure.
And they're going to do it. Their consoles sell better than almost anybody's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's going to work.
They talked about 3 games that are going to be available on this at launch, and then show some others that will be coming later. And Devin, you'll have to remind me what those 3 are.
Wind Waker.
Right. Yep. Zelda Wind Waker. That's a very fun Zelda game.
Calibur 2.
Yes, sir. There's Link in Soul Calibur.
Oh, whoa. Look at him go. I remember Soul Calibur relatively well. And F-Zero GX.
Yep. So if you had a GameCube, played any of those, you'll be able to on the Switch too. And then they mentioned more will be coming later after launch.
Those are Super Mario Sunshine, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, Super Mario Strikers, Chibi Robo, Luigi's Mansion, Pokemon Coliseum.
Yeah. And then there's also a controller in the same GameCube shape that will work with those games, and will also have the C button on top.
Is that going to be necessary to play the GameCube games?
Mm-mm.
I see.
It's like
that's for collectors.
Yeah.
We got more games.
All right. So yeah, then they went back to what'd they go back to? Is it partner games at this point still?
Publishing partner games.
Yeah.
Deltarune chapters 3 and 4.
Yep. This is kind of like the sequel to Undertale, which people love. And I think chapters 3 and 4 have been like rumored for a long time. So this was kind of a big thing for them to have here. I haven't played Undertale or this one, but
it almost looks like a rhythm game in a way. Like,
yeah, very unique.
Huh. Borderlands 4. That's big.
That is cool. That'll probably do very well there, I would imagine. I think that's probably one of your most anticipated games of the year.
It's gonna be awesome. Civilization 7.
And they also show mouse controls for Civilization 7, which will probably be a big deal. I think those are easier to play on a mouse and keyboard because it's all about like dealing with hexagons and moving troops around and stuff.
Oh, I skipped some. WW2K and NBA 2K.
Yeah.
Survival Kids. I'm stoked about this next one. Enter the Gungeon 2.
Yeah, that was one of the highlights for me as well.
That's amazing.
I don't know if I love the art style, but I could be sold on it. They like went with more 3D kind of look, and it looks like a different camera angle, maybe even too.
Yeah, it might be difficult. I imagine it's difficult. The other one was
very hard. Super in for that though.
Star Seeker Astroneer Expeditions.
Yeah, like a co-op kind of version of that.
Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate.
Yeah, kind of a big deal to have that game there. I wonder how big the crossover is between like Switch owners that are buying Switches for their kids to play Mario Kart and people that want to play Cyberpunk on the device, one of the most mature games you can ever play.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But I'm sure it'll sell a lot.
Final Fantasy VII Remake. Intergrade and Hint.
Yep, Intergrade. And then they kind of made a hint at the end, like, stay tuned for more Final Fantasy coming to Switch 2, which definitely makes it seem like Rebirth, the second part, is going to be coming soon.
Next section we're calling Sizzle Reel.
Oh, yeah. Sizzle Reel, baby.
Should I start reading these off?
There's you can do them pretty quick since it sizzles pretty fast. It'll
be sizzling. Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess. Silk Song was briefly looked at.
First time in 2 years or whatever.
3 seconds just to tease us.
Hey, but they gave a year. It is coming out this year, according to that video. Yeah.
They're gonna change like what was the animal show that was animated with the sloths at the post office and the fox?
Zootopia.
Well, it's now Zootropolis. We're gonna go back. We're gonna be in 2027, and Nintendo's gonna be like, no, that showed 2028. They're gonna fool us. It's gonna be whatever. What do you call those? Where you think you knew something in the past, like Pokemon had a black piece on his tail, and now he doesn't. Or Pikachu, Pokemon.
I don't know.
Anyways,
is there a word for those?
They're gonna mess with us. It's not coming out.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But... Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. There it is.
There it is.
Goodnight Universe. 2 Point Museum. That's a new game.
Yeah, pretty new one.
Wild Hearts S. Did we play Wild Hearts?
For a couple hours, yeah.
Okay. Witchbrook. Puyo. Tetris. Rune Factory. Guardians of Azuma. Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
Looks so good.
Looks awesome. Star Wars Outlaws. Fast Fusion.
Yeah, they kind of
skip forward right there.
I think I forgot that one.
Shadow Labyrinth. Raidou Remastered. Raidou.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. No Sleep for Kaname Date. Reanimal, which I'm excited for.
Very excited for that one.
Yes. That's the makers of
Little
number 2.
1 and 2.
And then the makers of Little Nightmares 1 and 2 are also making a game, correct?
That's the game they're making, Reanimal.
Or someone's making a game. Someone's making Little Nightmares 3, but it's not that.
Correct. It's the Supermassive who made Until Dawn and the games like Until Dawn.
If nothing else, y'all should watch our YouTube videos for his knowledge. It's crazy. Okay. Fortnite. That is not Fortnite, but Fortnite will be on now.
Yeah, it was on there for a second.
Arcade Archives 2, Ridge Racer, Professor Layton and the New World of Steam, Tamagotchi Plaza, Human Fall Flat 2, and then exclusive to Switch 2, FromSoft game.
Yeah, this was the big one.
Had
I
me
said, now
hyped.
we're going to show just one more game from our publishing partners. And they start talking about blood here.
Oh,
I thought it was going to be Bloodborne.
Oh, and all of a sudden you're seeing Bloodborne aesthetic. You're seeing Bloodborne outfits.
Yep.
That triangle-shaped hat is in one of these scenes.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I know what it is, for sure.
Yeah, it definitely seems like Nintendo was like, make us Bloodborne, please, and we'll just put a different name on it.
Yeah, and I'm down. I'm absolutely down.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I am too. Do you want to play it on the Switch too? Which is the only place it is going to be playable.
Do you think that'll hold true? Do you think in the future they'll be like, nah, we're going to put that everywhere?
That's a good question. I mean, like Death Stranding, for example, came to PlayStation, and then I think it had a 5-year like exclusivity period, and then like 5 years to the day it came out on Xbox.
So maybe eventually.
But it's just such a bummer. But, you know, I get exclusive sell stuff, but I thought From was done with exclusives after how big Elden Ring was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wouldn't they want this game everywhere? Nintendo must have thrown so much freaking money at them.
Well, they've got it, and they're going to get a lot more.
That is true, but anyways,
yeah,
the game looks very cool.
It does, and I hope that it's as good. I hope that it's as loved as the other FromSoft games because they're all amazing in their own way.
Looks very unique. Like at one point, the guy jumps like a gap and shoots a gun.
I did see some weird mechanics to this game.
And it's like focused on co-op, I think. I'm going to read this paragraph while the trailer plays. It says, developed for the upcoming Switch 2, The Duskbloods is a PvPvE title with online multiplayer at its core, where up to 8 players vie for supremacy among themselves and against challenging foes. And there's, that guy jetpacking wherever he's going.
That was cool. Yeah.
Very cool From vibes, though. They know how to make a cool boss.
Oh, they really do. Let's just make it as weird as possible.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And so, he jumps here. I think he shoots a gun.
I mean, he's wearing Bloodborne pants. His body's that tall, skinny shape, just like the hunter.
Yep. So weird.
Like,
what is that frog?
That thing's got issues. If you watch here, you will see a Bloodborne hat. Unless it's already passed.
Oh, a hat, huh?
You will see it. There's someone coming down a staircase.
Here he goes. He jumps. He's going to shoot the gun. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, shoot. Look at him go.
That looks like the werewolf.
From Elden Ring.
From Elden Ring, that's right.
Oh, man. Right here.
Yeah, that looks exactly like that.
Same exact
There's
hat.
T-Rex, man.
T-Rex, man, yeah. It's all so weird. I mean, it's so obviously FromSoft. It's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. It's crazy that they've been super successful because their games are so odd.
And sometimes they don't even focus on graphics.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, this looks fine.
Mm-hmm.
But the game plays so well, and it's so good.
Yeah.
In every other way.
The Duskbloods.
Anyways, we talked about that for a long time.
Well, they deserved it. It was cool.
Kirby Air Riders tease.
Yeah. I guess Kirby Air Ride is a earlier game. And it never got a sequel. Until now. They had this tease here saying, look, we'll show a couple more games here. This one just has like Kirby's star kind of fly in. And then it doesn't really show much more other than like a jet engine kind of appears out of the back of the star. And then the title just kind of comes up and says, Kirby's Air Riders. I've never played the original, but I know a lot of people were kind of pumped about this one. So,
but you're pumped about the next one, which is
I am
Donkey Kong Bananza with a
going
full world.
Yeah.
Of you can interact with the whole world, like break the whole world.
Yeah,
it seems like
can like dig and punch stuff. Going back real quick to Kirby Air Riders is being directed by Masahiro Sakurai, who famously is the creator of Smash Brothers, and I think directed like all the Smash Brothers games. Wow. Kind of strange, like I don't know, for him to direct it, I guess, but yeah, the Donkey Kong game, Donkey Kong Bananza. I really like how it looks.
Oh, DK looks so cool.
He looks way cool. I like that they've like said, let's make a whole new Donkey Kong game kind of from scratch. We'll give it totally new art style, and Donkey Kong will look different too. I hope it's great.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish they would also make like a traditional Donkey Kong Country game at the same time. But even if they aren't, I'm at least glad that like this one exists, because there hasn't been a 3D Donkey Kong game since Donkey Kong 64, probably.
I remember playing that at a friend's house when I was like 8.
Yeah, and that game has a special place in my heart too. Man, it looks so cool. I like how everything kind of has like
look at that smile,
glossy kind of look to it. It looks very weird.
It looks so cool.
But I'm like super down. This is probably would be my most anticipated game on the platform. I mean, Mario Kart will be great, but I don't play as much Mario Kart anymore as I like did once upon a time. So yeah, this one looks very cool. It was cool to see them end their presentation with a Donkey Kong game, since I know most people prefer Mario, and I do think most of Mario's games are like excellent. He gets more of a focus, but Donkey Kong is in my opinion like more of my favorite character than Mario.
Yeah, they're so good.
Those 2D sections that it just showed too, I'm like, I hope there's a lot of those.
Yeah, sometimes with 3D and being able to interact with the entire world and break everything, sometimes can feel overwhelming. It's like, well, I need to break everything in every level because they could be hiding the Master Sword in this mountain.
Right. So yeah, I hope that inside like this big world, there's sections like that where you like pop into a 2D level, and there's a bunch of those. I like how these bosses look, though. There's like some weird creatures. There's like a female Donkey Kong here. I don't know if she's a good guy, bad guy. I don't know. I'm into Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Absolutely.
We'll talk a little bit more about that game in a second, because again, they didn't talk about price with any of these, which are details that came out later. All right, Devin, that basically ends the presentation. They stop here and just go over highlights. Like, okay, it comes out, just a reminder, on June 5th. Here's the games we highlighted. Donkey Kong's not till July 17th. Just a little tidbit there. We're going to have a bundle with Mario Kart. There will be more details on the website. Again, because they did not want to have the price in this YouTube video and have it be downvoted to like oblivion.
They are smart, aren't they?
Yeah, they are pretty smart. So just at this point, Devin, what were your opinions just of this presentation?
I thought it was super cool. And for me, never seeing any prices, I was just like, everything's so cool. This is so cool. The specs are so cool.
Yep.
The games that are coming out are so cool. I can't wait to play this new Mario Kart after 10 years. I'm considering buying a Nintendo console, which I haven't done in 20 years myself.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. That was kind of my thought afterwards too. I was like, man, they showed a lot of cool games there. They had tons of partner games. Everybody wants their game on this thing. It's going to have tons of games. Nintendo showed a few cool games. Ending with Donkey Kong was awesome. Mario Kart World looks super. I don't know much about the Kirby Riders game, but I could be sold on that too. The Switch like features look cool. Like the mouse support 120 frames per second. Bigger screen, up to 4K. I was like, man, this all sounds so good. The only thing that kind of bummed me was like, okay, they got a new system. I hope they announce achievements.
Like trophies?
Like trophies, but I don't know if it seems like Nintendo's just never going to do it. Which is fine. I kind of assumed that wouldn't happen. That's a very David thing.
Well, it is fun to chase those trophies, though.
I like it.
It encourages you to do the extra random things in games.
It does. Like, I'll play your game longer if you throw them in there. I don't understand why they don't do it. It must not make a big enough difference for most people. But I don't know. All right. Presentation, I thought was great. I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. Like, if they had ended with, oh, and here is Mario Galaxy 3 or something, like, that would have been like, 10 out of 10, like, so pumped. Then the Nintendo Switch 2 website went up. People got hands-on today. Hands-on, I think, was pretty positive generally. People think the thing looks nice. It's like hefty, has a better screen, like the games look fun. But then some more details started to come out both on that website and on a bunch of other blogs and news media picked things up. So the other highlights and things that they didn't bring up here. It costs $450, which is $50 more than I thought it would be, and $150 more than the first Switch launched at. Obviously, there's a lot going on right now with inflation and tariffs on goods to like the United States from other countries, so that probably affected this a bit. Man, that's a high price for like a Nintendo console. It's going to be more expensive than a PlayStation 5 when it comes out.
Crazy.
Because you can probably get a PlayStation 5 digital version for $400, I think. The bundle with Mario Kart costs $500, which is a pretty good deal because they then had pricing for the games announced. Mario Kart costs $80 digitally, which is a jump up from the $70 price of games. A lot of people have been very upset about this. Games going up in price. I think it's hard. I think that games should cost what they need to cost. Games are very expensive to make. You know, like Grand Theft Auto 6, I think should cost like $100 or something. Like, it's going to be like crazy big. You'll play it for a bajillion hours. I think it makes sense for them to make like their key game here with Mario Kart, maybe their more expensive one. Kind of bold of them to be like, yeah, we'll be the ones to raise the prices. And that sentiment kind of continues into the rest of this here, but the games are actually in certain regions, I think like Europe, if you buy the game physically, it's more expensive than digitally. So it's about $90 instead of $80 if you buy it digitally. Oh, which is crazy. It's also kind of weird. The pricing isn't like fully consistent, which again, I think games should explore the range. Like we should have games that are $20, $30, $40, $50, $10, I guess, $80, 60, 65, whatever is like the right amount for the depth of the game and like the innovation, and I guess. But like the Nintendo Switch 2 editions of Breath of the Wild, Link to the Past are also $80. Like, man, but they were like $60 on the Switch, or 70, I think Tears of the Kingdom was. Then it has kind of come out, this part hasn't been confirmed, that the upgrades from the Switch to the Switch 2 versions of these games is a $20 upcharge. And where like, I think Xbox and PlayStation have done like $10 upgrades for like Horizon and Ghost of Tsushima and stuff, and so that's a bit of a jump as well. If I want to play the Switch 2 version of Tears of the Kingdom, and I already own the game, and I already own that game, and Breath of the Wild, and Mario Party, and I don't remember what the other ones were, Pokemon ZA and Metroid Prime. That's 2020 in order to play the better version of all of those. There are some games that are getting free upgrades or updates, but those are kind of pricey. Donkey Kong Bonanza, for some reason, is only $70. It's not $80. So it costs $10 less. Makes me think, like, is it a smaller game? I don't why is it less? It was your keynote. You ended your presentation with it. Why is it $10 cheaper? So that's kind of weird as well. Then Devin, click on that accessory pricing link. Then the prices for the different accessories also came out. And they're not cheap either. You know, most, like the Joy-Cons were already $80, I think, for the original Switch. And Nintendo's like game prices like never come down, and the Switch's price I don't think really ever came down. I think it's been $300 basically the whole time, and I think the OLED version is $350, and the only cheaper one is the Lite, which I think was $200 if I'm not mistaken. The Switch 2 Pro controller is $80, pair of Joy-Cons is $90, the camera's $50, and a dock if you want a second dock so that you can like go between TVs faster without having to unplug and replug in a dock is $110. So I don't know, just given all of these financial details, my like excitement from the presentation was kind of dampened with like, poof, when am I going to have $800 to drop on the device, I'll hopefully get the Mario Kart bundle, because then I'm at least getting Mario Kart for $30 off. So that's $500. If I want a single Pro controller, I'm at $580. If I want an extra set of Joy-Cons, I'm adding $90 to that. I don't think I would use the camera or the dock set, so I probably don't need those. But then if I buy Donkey Kong as well, I'm $70 more than that, and like pretty quick you're at 800, 900. So I don't know. I knew the thing was going to be expensive because the Switch has sold so well. They know people want it. They've kind of got everybody where they want them. And inflation's been crazy, and there's tariffs going on right now too. So all of those things together probably led to this, but it is a bummer that it can't be $399. And the controllers and stuff still be about the same price, and the upgrades can't only be $10. And it kind of seems like which is very common with almost all technology, but it seems like they're really dinging their early adopters. It's like, you want to switch in 2025, you're gonna pay for it. Whereas if you wait a year or two, you can probably get some of these games a little cheaper and stuff like that. But I don't know. Nintendo game prices don't really come down, so it's gonna be expensive to play games on Switch, which is already like a not even really secondary console for me. It's kind of third. I play games on my PlayStation, and I play some on PC with my Rogue Ally, and then I play mostly just Nintendo's games on the Switch. I'm like, am I gonna pay $800 to play Mario Kart and Donkey Kong, then wait a year for the next Mario game, then wait a year for the next Zelda game? It's just like not a lot of games for me to justify it.
You're gonna have to sell 50 board games.
Probably more.
Probably
more. That sounds like a good strategy. I have to do that.
Yeah, that's the strat.
Anyways, Devin, what after all of these details, what's kind of your opinion on the Switch 2 now at this point? After the pretty good presentation, and then knowing, it's going to cost a pretty penny.
If it's worth the price, if the console itself is fantastic and the games are so good, it just kind of encourages me to make a little bit more money, because I would love to stream these games, and
yeah,
that just sounds fun to me.
I do want to play it, so yeah. I mean, I feel you there.
I'm like, what can I sell? That's what I'm thinking. What can I sell so I don't have to just take this massive punch of a big portion of money?
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. It'll be interesting as more details come out. Like, how capable is this thing? Is it really like leaps and bounds better than the first one? Or is there like a crazy upcharge? And I don't know. It'll be interesting to like have Digital Foundry like rip the thing open and really look into all of that stuff, because there's still a lot of unknowns, since the video was just yesterday and the hands-on event was today, and there's lots of details. So anyway, Switch 2. Cool that it's real. Coming out in June.
It is.
I don't think I will have one probably until Christmas at the earliest. I would like to, but
I might have one earlier than you, maybe.
Wow.
We will see.
That'd be cool. As the running joke goes, it's either, the Switch 2 or groceries. So
that's hilarious.
It wasn't very funny the first time I said it, and now at the 400th time, it's gotten funnier.